welcome to Crafty Little Things. I thought I'd do this quick little video in this kind of draw my life style. I am fast approaching 1,000 subscribers on my channel, which is a real milestone for me and something I'm really grateful for. It would have been lovely to have hit 1,000 before the end of the year, but that's not going to happen now. But that doesn't matter anyway, because my target for this year was to have 500 subscribers. In fact, my original target was to have 200, so I've done really well. And it's been hard work. It's not as easy as some people think it is, that you just start a channel and you've got 1 million subscribers within a week. That doesn't happen. I think it used to be quite simple, but I think now there's just so many content makers that it doesn't happen. So I thought I'd use today to just say thank you for the subscribers I have. I am going to do a bit of a giveaway when I get to 1,000 subscribers. So I will sort of talk about that very soon. But I just sort of wanted to share things that I've learned really that fall into 4 main categories. And the first one of those categories I've called consider. And this is the beginning of starting your channel. So there's lots of things you have to consider before you start your channel. One of the things you have to consider is what you're going to name it. Now, I've seen somebody recently who named their channel before they really thought about what they were going to put on the channel. They named it something that was totally inappropriate, and they'd used it for little bits and bobs, and they already had lots of subscribers to it. So they didn't want to lose those subscribers, but the name was totally inappropriate. So think about your name. Does it say what you do? I mean, I wish my channel was called something different now. I wish it was just called my own name. So think about the name, and if you do call it your own name, it's always going to fit. But then you might want to be anonymous. A lot of YouTubers want to be anonymous when they first start out, because they're a bit embarrassed about what they're doing, which is crazy nowadays because YouTubing is just so popular. So consider your name. Consider accessibility. Has accessibility got 2 S's? Consider accessibility, and what I say about that is how can you access your own channel? You know, how are you going to control your channel, monitor your channel? Are you going to do it on apps? Are you going to use a PC? Are you going to use a laptop? Have you got the right tools and everything to be able to make videos? Are you just going to go raw and live? Are you going to have highly edited things? So under accessibility then comes sort of kit and software. So have a look at what you're going to need, if you can afford it, if those things are accessible. If you want to run a really sort of high tech sort of glossy channel, you're going to need to be able to access some expensive kit, some expensive software, and you're going to need to be able to know how to use that stuff. So you might even have to have classes and lessons and stuff. So think about accessibility, and think about, with accessibility comes limitations, because then by thinking about how you're going to actually access everything, you'll know how limited you are. So you might want this glossy channel, but you might think, well, to do that I need this, that and that, and I can't have those, so I'm going to have to change my starting plan and accept my limitations. The other thing you have to consider in terms of starting up your channel is who it's for. Who is it for, and what is it going to do? Is it doing? So think about your audience and think about what you want to tell them. So it's all about who's, what's, why's. Just go through those things and kind of get those clear in your head, because that'll help you stay focused with your channel. But then again, consider whether you want to stay focused with your channel. Consider if maybe your channel is going to be quite a generic channel and it's just going to be whatever you fancy putting up at the time. So that brings us to the next step, which is the second C, which I've called content. And this is thinking more specifically about what you're actually going to put on your channel. You know, and this is a definite what. So what are you going to put on your channel and how are you going to produce it? So when you're thinking about these things, about making your actual content, you need to think about equipment, what you're going to use. You need to think about space. Where are you going to actually film? And then when you're thinking about and time as well, because you have to think about the time that you're going to invest. So your time isn't just filming, you also have time spent setting up, editing, uploading. Some files can take ages. I tend to upload in a really low definition because it's much quicker. If I'm rendering in high definition, it can take an hour for a short video, whereas in the lower definition it can take minutes. And then when you're uploading to YouTube, so when you're saving it as an edited version, it can take ages, and then when you're uploading to YouTube it can take ages because it's a much bigger file. It takes up more space on your hard drive and stuff. So you need to think about virtual space, as in on your computer, memory and stuff, and your actual room or location as well, that comes into that. And in your equipment you have to think, are you going to have something that's permanently set up so you can just jump in and film, or you know, are you going to have to take ages to set up every time you want to film something? Are you going to film everything in one go? So think about your schedule under content. Are you going to film everything at once, or are you going to film, you know, just ad hoc? Are you going to plan things out? So in your schedule you've got your planning. So are you going to post at a specific time of the day or the week or the month? You know, think about that. Think about when you're actually going to share things, and be reasonable. Think about, again, I'm going to put limitations in again. Think about your limitations again. You know, you can't say I'm going to post every Saturday if you work 12-hour shifts Monday to Friday and you've got 7 kids, because chances are you're going to find it difficult to set up, film, edit and put a video out there every Saturday. You might be able to do that once a month rather than once a week. So also, again, I think in each of these you have to think of your limitations. So then the third C then is comms, and that's just short for communications, because I don't want to write communications. So communications, and that's about linking. So link to other social media. So let people on your Facebook know that you have a YouTube channel. Let friends and family know. And funnily enough, quite often your friends and family won't support you. And it's not just me. I know lots of people who have channels and their own, you know, friends and family don't follow them. They don't watch them. They don't subscribe to them. Some people want it that way because they find it quite embarrassing to do, you know, sort of perform in front of people. But some people's friends and family are not very supportive. And one of the reasons for that can be that they don't even know you've got a channel. So let people know, use your other social media, tell your friends and family and ask them, say, you know, this is a really important thing to me. Can you please support me in what I'm trying to achieve? You know, I only want you to subscribe and to watch the odd video. I don't want you to worship the ground I walk on or anything. I'll be my greatest fan. But definitely communicate on your other, if you've got a blog, link that. If you've got Facebook, Instagram, link that, and keep referencing back to the fact that you have a channel. Let people know you have a channel. So sort of talk about it. If you're not talking about it, how are people going to know? Okay? So definitely communicate the fact that you have a channel. Also, this sort of ties back into that thinking about your audience. Make sure you're relevant to your audience and in the way you communicate with your audience. So if loads of your audience have Facebook accounts, like with the craft channel, quite often people do have Facebook accounts and do have blogs. So communicate with other people who you want to come and look at your channel through those mediums. Also, in terms of communication, think about how you want to come across on your channel. So the impression you want to make. Do you want to come across as somebody who's perfectly structured, totally organised, super professional and polished? Or do you just want to be, I mean, that might be how you are as a person, so it's not necessarily an act. Or do you want to come across as somebody who's fallible, human, makes mistakes, puts those mistakes right, sometimes makes a mess, sometimes has disasters going on, sometimes, like me, has the dog barking, a kid walking in singing the head off, somebody hammering on the door? You know, are you one of those people? And also, in terms of communications, think about your timings. Because, and this goes back into content as well with this sort of schedule. So think about, when are you going to put your, you know, when's best to communicate with your audience? Is it best to throw a video out at 11 o'clock at night because you know, if you're in the UK, because your audience are all in America? Or is it best to put a video out at 7 in the morning because most of your audience are housewives who get the kids off to school or whatever, get breakfast sorted and then sit down and have a little flick through YouTube? Is it best to do it in the evening? When's the best time? You know, thinking about that schedule and communicating with your audience. When's the best time for you to do things? And when's the best time for you to film as well? Because you might think, oh, I'm going to film now because most people will, but you're not, that might not actually make it to your channel for another 2 days. So do think about that. And then consistency is my last step, which I'm not going to fit on as one word. Whoops, I didn't even fit on as one anything there. Consistency, you know what I'm talking about. So let's be consistent. So you know, upload regularly. Even if you're consistently irregular, be consistently irregular. Because if people know that you don't, if you could have a schedule or a plan, and you could say, I'm going to post on a Monday and a Friday, and then you tell your audience, I'm going to post every Monday and I'm going to post every Friday, and then you don't. It'd be better for you to say, look, I'll upload whenever I can, because then they'll subscribe and they'll click the notification button, and then whenever you do stick something out there, they'll find out about it. Sometimes if you're consistent, it can be a little bit of a backfiring kind of thing, because people don't need to subscribe and they don't need to click the notification button because they know you're going to post every Monday. So think about that as a double-edged kind of deal. It can be useful to schedule and plan and be consistent with regular uploads, but it can also be useful to be inconsistent with your uploading and to be consistently inconsistent. So do think about that. And also think about whether you want to be consistent with your content, because going back to the first point, because do you want your content to only be card making videos, or do you want your content to be card making videos one week and then your holiday next week, and then the next week it's a film of your dog giving birth, and the next week it's of you baking a cake? is it just a craft video, or do you introduce other little things? And sometimes once you started to build an audience, you can find that they do want to know more about you. So things can evolve through your audience. So your audience might kind of get to know from your videos that you've got dogs, for instance. Like people know I've got dogs because they often walk across the camera while I'm filming, or they're barking in the background. And then people contact me and they start to ask me about them, and they'll see them on my Facebook and things like that. And then so then it's okay to share a little quick video of my puppies and things like this. So evolve, get to know your audience and evolve with them, and communicate with your audience as well. Go back into communication, be consistent. So respond to comments. And in terms of consistency, there's another sort of element to consistency, which I'm going to call expectation. So be consistent in terms of expectations and what you're going to get from your channel. It isn't going to explode into, you're not going to become Casey Neistat overnight making cards. So you're not suddenly going to have 10 million viewers. Be realistic about your expectations. You know, viewers, it's not going to grow really, really fast. You're not going to make tons and tons of money out of it. You know, you can't make anything out of a YouTube channel until you've got 1,000 subscribers. You can't even join, you can join the partner program, but you can't monetize your channel until you've got 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the bank. And that's how it works these days. And your channel has to be in line with their criteria for partners nowadays. So it's not like before where you could just start your channel and start having adverts on it. That's not how it works. So you need to work hard and get to that 1,000 subscribers if you want to start making money out of your channel. But you're not going to make a fortune out of it anyway. So have realistic expectations. You know, when you look at these big bloggers and gamers and stuff who are making millions out of it, most of that money is coming from sponsorships and deals and brand deals and things like that, and their view count is huge. So be realistic. Also, in your expectations, don't expect everybody to like what you do. There are trolls out there, so you might get the odd thumbs down. I'll try and draw a thumbs down. Yay. You might get the odd thumbs down as well as the thumbs ups. And do ask people, say when you come and watch a video, please, if you liked it, please click the thumbs up, because that does inspire you to keep making more content. And if you get the odd thumbs down button, don't worry about it. They've still contributed to your viewing figures. You can't please everybody, and some people are just horrible and just go around thumbs down and everything anyway. I had somebody on my dad's birthday, somebody for some reason went on my channel and just disliked 40 videos. Now I know they didn't watch all of those 40 videos, so they didn't really dislike them. It was just somebody being nasty for some reason. I don't know what, and I don't really care. That's their problem. But I was quite flattered that they'd spent however long it had taken them to sit and click that button 40 times, and to go backwards and forwards, opening up a video, clicking on it. So, you know, somebody cares about what you're doing. Even if they're giving you the thumbs down, they care about what you're doing and see that as a positive. If you get a negative comment, don't let it upset you. I stray out of shot so much because the way I have to work, my setup means that I sort of work with my arms at full stretch, which is not a normal way to work. So sometimes I forget and I start pulling my project towards me and I disappear down here somewhere. And people comment, oh, I couldn't see what you were doing. You know, I try to edit in such a way and I try to remind myself to stay in the shot, and I put markers on my desk and I still faff and disappear. And I apologise for that. And in my description, you know, in my expectation, I will say, you know, I'll think to myself, I stray out of shot a little bit here. I better apologise for that in my description. And if somebody says, oh, you strayed out of shot, I say, yeah, well, I did say so in my description, and I am trying. I'm not perfect, and I'm not Steven Spielberg, you know. So again, that comes back to expectation and content and communication. So yeah, so be realistic and don't let it get you down. Really, my big message, I guess, is to enjoy it. And now this isn't a C word, it's an E word. So it doesn't really fit, it sort of covers everything. Is just enjoy what you do, love what you do. If you stop liking filming YouTube videos, because it does become quite addictive, if you're not enjoying it, stop doing it, because what's the point in life? If you know, if you're not having fun with something, just stop. If it's getting you down, if it's stressing you out, if every time you sit down to film the dogs start barking and the kids start screaming and, you know, the fire alarms start going on, and it's just stressing you out, just stop. There's no point. And I've seen some YouTubers, big YouTubers, who have said, oh, you know, I was so unhappy, but I felt obligated. Who to? Who are you obligated to? A load of strangers. You know, that at the end of the day, they are supporting you and they're following you and they're getting something from you. But the majority of people who watch your videos don't give you anything back. They don't subscribe. They don't like. My viewers, I think it's 20% of my viewers are subscribed. So 80% of people who regularly watch my channel don't even subscribe. They don't like my videos. They don't give me a thumbs up. They don't comment. They're not giving me anything back at all. So I'm not going to make myself miserable to please these people who, you know, who do obviously watch what I do, but they're not exactly giving me anything back. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. That's why I'm doing it. Because it's fun for me and it's a challenge. So, you know, it's fun and it's a challenge and I find it interesting and I find it exciting as well, watching my channel grow. And I am really grateful for the subscribers that I have and for those people who do comment. And the very best thing I find, if I want to look at the best thing that comes, you know, my number one, if you like, takeaway from YouTube, is when somebody actually makes something that you've made. And yesterday, a lady left a comment on my channel I'd made a crocheted grocery bag that like expands, which is a fantastic project anyway. It expands and you can carry groceries in it and it's washable and it's breathable and you can see what you've got in it and it's really easy to make. And I'd made this bag and I loved it and I was really pleased with it and I thought it'd be quite a popular video, and it wasn't as popular as I thought it would be. That's the other thing, you can't predict what's going to be popular, you just have to put stuff out there and see. And it wasn't as popular as I thought it was going to be, but somebody, and I put it up there in the summer. I remember it was the summer when I took photographs of it in the garden full of fruit, and somebody commented yesterday and said, oh, I absolutely love this video, I've made this bag, I'm going to be making more, can you know, have you got a paper pattern so they don't have to keep going back and watching the whole video, because it's more portable for some people to just sit and crochet with their feet up watching a film or whatever, or travelling or whatever. Have you got a paper pattern so I can make more? And I was just really chuffed. I thought, oh, somebody's actually, you know, made one of my things and enjoyed it. And that person, I don't think was a subscriber, and I don't think she'd previously commented. So she'd obviously seen my video and then gone away, got the materials, whatever, and then made it. So you don't really know what's going on out there. So the best thing you can do is enjoy those moments, enjoy those number one moments, but mainly just do it for the fun of it. And don't let people put you off either. I have heard people who've said, oh, my husband thinks it's, you know, it's crazy, or my sister thinks I'm an idiot for doing it, or I'm too old, and things like that. You know, that's all rubbish. Don't let anybody put you off. If it's something you want to do and you think you're going to enjoy doing, then just do it and crack on with it and enjoy it. And don't overthink it, but do, like I said in these past ones, do make sure your expectations are realistic, and do understand your limitations, and do have an element of planning. Even if you're going to plan to be unplanned, at least that helps you to realise your limitations. It helps you to say, right, I know I can't commit to a regular upload, I know I can't commit to a regular day of the week, but I'm just going to tell people you're going to get a video from me whenever I can, and that's the way it's going to be. Okay, so I hope that was useful if you're thinking about starting a channel. And I'd also just like to say that I'm really, really grateful once more for all those people who have subscribed and who have taught me really what I've learned this far. And maybe when I'm on 10,000 subscribers, I'll have some more lessons that I've learned to share with people. But my main one is just enjoy it, be consistent, even if you're inconsistent, communicate that you have a channel with people, and seize any opportunity you can to let people know, and share it within your crafting community. And one final thing is, in terms of, we're going back to communications, is when people do comment, make sure you respond to that comment and engage with them, and try to build that sense of community in your comments, especially while your channel's really small and you're only getting a few views and a few comments. You're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to respond to each person individually, and if you've responded to them and taken that time, they're likely to come back and comment again. Okay, so I hope that was useful to you, and Happy New Year. And I wish everybody well, and those of you who want to start anything new in 2019, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's a blog, whether it's a new job, whether you're moving somewhere, anything like that, whatever you're doing, I wish you every success with it. And one thing is for sure, if you do not start, you'll never get there. So whatever it is you want to achieve, wherever it is you want to go, the only way you're ever going to get anywhere near that is to actually start doing it. So just start doing it. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.